French fries and milkshake. This one did not come from a chef's tasting menu. It came from a fast food tray. Fries are already built to be dipped. Ketchup, mayo, gravy, cheese sauce. The format is familiar. But when a milkshake is sitting next to the fries, the tray accidentally creates one more sauce. That tray is what makes the combination feel bizarre and obvious at the same time. The foods are not supposed to share a category. One is a hot side dish, the other is a cold dessert drink. But on the tray, they are already neighbors. The first thing that makes it work is contrast. A fry is salty, hot, and crisp at the edges. A milkshake is cold, sweet, and thick. When the fry goes into the shake, the combination turns into a fast food version of something much more familiar: warm dessert with ice cream. Apple pie with ice cream works on the same basic idea. Brownies with vanilla ice cream work the same way. Hot fudge sundaes work because temperature contrast makes the bite feel bigger than either part alone. The second reason is salt. Salt does not just sit next to sweetness. In small amounts, it can make sweetness seem stronger. That is why salted caramel, chocolate pretzels, and kettle corn all make sense. The fry brings the salt, and the shake brings the sugar. What looks like a childish dare is really the fast food version of a classic pattern: salty plus sweet, hot plus cold, crisp plus creamy. Peanut butter and dill pickles? Peanut butter usually gets paired with soft, sweet things: jelly, banana, honey, marshmallow fluff. Dill pickles are the opposite direction. They are sharp, briny, wet, and crunchy. So putting them inside a peanut butter sandwich sounds less like a recipe and more like someone trying to empty a pantry. But this sandwich has been around for generations. It is often linked to American Depression-era eating, when cheap, filling, shelf-stable ingredients mattered. Peanut butter was affordable protein. Pickles were inexpensive, preserved, and strong enough to make plain bread feel less plain. The pickle does the job that jelly usually does, just from the other side of the flavor map. In a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, the jelly cuts through the heavy peanut butter with fruit and sugar. In a peanut butter and pickle sandwich, the pickle cuts through it with vinegar, salt, and crunch. That makes the sandwich less strange when you compare it to a burger. A burger can be rich, fatty, and heavy, so pickles are added to break it up. Peanut butter has its own kind of heaviness. It coats the bread, sticks to the roof of the mouth, and can feel dense without something sharp beside it. The dill pickle turns peanut butter from a sweet lunchbox spread into something closer to a savory sandwich filling. It changes the category of the food. The bread is no longer carrying a dessert-like filling. It is carrying something salty, acidic, and practical. Dill pickles make more sense than they first appear to. They are not trying to taste like jelly. They are doing the same structural job in a completely different language. Watermelon and feta cheese. Watermelon is usually treated like a fruit you eat by itself. It gets sliced into wedges, chilled in the fridge, and served outside in summer. Feta cheese comes from a different world. It belongs to salads, mezzi plates, and salty Mediterranean dishes. On paper, it should make watermelon seem confused. But watermelon is mostly refreshment. It is cold, juicy, and sweet, but it does not have much weight on the plate. Feta adds the weight. It turns a fruit snack into a salad. The salt in the cheese makes the watermelon taste more intense, the same way a tiny pinch of salt can make a sweet fruit taste sweeter. The cheese also gives the plate a second texture. Watermelon collapses quickly when you bite it. Feta crumbles, holds its shape, and stays visible. That matters because watermelon and feta is not just a flavor pairing. It is a visual transformation. Red cubes of fruit become a composed dish when white cheese, herbs, olive oil, cucumber, or red onion enter the bowl. The combination also belongs to a much older food pattern: fruit with salty dairy, melon with cheese, figs with cheese, pears with cheese, and grapes on a cheese board all work from the same idea. Sweet fruit becomes more interesting when it is pulled towards something salty and savory. Watermelon and feta only looks bizarre if watermelon is locked into the dessert and snack category. Once watermelon is treated like tomato or cucumber, juicy produce that can carry salt, oil, herbs, and cheese, The pairing starts to look like summer salad logic. Mango and tagine. Mango with tagine can seem bizarre if fruit is supposed to stay sweet, but in Mexican snack culture, fruit is often not finished with more sugar. It is finished with chile, lime, and salt. That is the whole move. A ripe mango is already sweet. It does not need help becoming dessert. Tajin changes the mango into street snack territory. The seasoning is built from mild chile, dehydrated lime, and salt. Those three ingredients do different jobs, and all of them are visible. The red powder coats the yellow fruit. The mango changes color. A plain slice becomes something that looks seasoned, intentional, and ready to sell from a cart or a clear plastic cup. The lime points back to the fruit's natural acidity. The salt makes the sweetness stand out. The chili gives the surface a savory edge without turning the mango into a hot dish. This is why the pairing works especially well with ripe mango. The fruit has enough sugar and perfume to handle the seasoning. If the mango is underripe, the lime and salt can push it too far toward sourness. If the mango is ripe, the seasoning gives it borders. The same pattern shows up with pineapple, watermelon, cucumber, jicama, and fruit cups with chamoy. Tajin is not trying to hide the fruit. It frames it. So the bizarre part is cultural, not culinary. Strawberries and balsamic vinegar. This combination sounds strange mostly because of one word: vinegar. Strawberries suggest dessert. Vinegar suggests salad dressing. Put the words together, and it sounds like someone poured the wrong bottle over fruit. But balsamic vinegar is not just sharpness. Traditional balsamic vinegar comes from cooked grape must, aged into something darker, thicker, and more complex than ordinary vinegar. In Modena and the surrounding part of Emilia-Romagna, strawberries with balsamic vinegar are a classic simple dessert. The key is restraint. This is not a bowl of strawberries drowned in salad dressing. It is ripe fruit with a small amount of balsamic, often left briefly to macerate. The strawberries release juice. The balsamic mixes into it, and the bowl creates its own syrup. Visually, the pairing is easy to understand. Bright red berries become glossy. A few dark drops turn cut fruit into a finished dessert. Nothing has to be baked, blended, or hidden. The logic is also close to lemon on fruit. A little acidity can make fruit taste brighter. The difference is that balsamic brings depth as well as acid. It can make strawberries feel less like a raw ingredient and more like a plated dessert. That is why the combination survives. Bacon and maple syrup. Bacon and maple syrup is so familiar on a breakfast plate that it almost stops looking bizarre. But look at the ingredients separately. One is cured pork, salty and smoky. The other is boiled tree sap, sweet and amber. The only reason they meet is because breakfast put them next to each other. Pancakes, waffles, French toast, bacon, sausage, eggs, and syrup all share the same morning plate in North America. Once syrup starts running, it does not respect boundaries. It touches the pancakes, then the butter, then the bacon. That accident became a flavor. Bacon brings salt, smoke, and crisp edges. Maple syrup brings sweetness, woodsy caramel notes, and shine. Together they follow the same sweet, salty pattern as chocolate-covered pretzels or salted caramel, but with smoke added. The pairing became so accepted that it moved beyond the breakfast plate. Maple bacon donuts, maple bacon potato chips, maple bacon glazes, and bacon pancakes all turn the accidental plate collision into a designed product. That is a sign that the combination works. A true gimmick usually stays a stunt. Bacon and maple became a flavor category. The visual is also clear. Syrup makes bacon glisten. Bacon makes sweet food look more savory. Together they create the image of breakfast compressed into one bite.